cited al-Shifa, claiming Hamas ran a command and control center under the hospital, but Israel's yet to provide any hard evidence to back that up. Former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak recently spoke with CNN's Christian Amanpour. He admitted Israel built the bunkers decades ago underneath al-Shifa.
It's already known for many years that they have in the bunkers that originally was built by Israeli constructors underneath Shifa were used as a...
Well, when you say it was built by Israeli engineers, did you misspeak?
No, decades ago we were running the place, so we held them. It was decades, many decades ago, probably 4 decades ago, that we helped them to build these bunkers in order to enable more space for the operation of the hospital.
Hamas's tunnels and Israeli propaganda. Jeremy's joining us from Germany. Jeremy, can you talk about what he just said?
Yeah, well, first of all, Amy, the al-Shifa hospital, originally going back to the years of the British Mandate in the 1940s, it was a British military barracks, and then it was converted into a hospital, and under both the Israeli and the Egyptian occupations of that area. And then in the 1980s, the Israelis began to do extensive construction on it. In fact, I was looking at the Israeli architecture archives that were set up, and you can go back and look at from that era. And 2 Tel Aviv architects oversaw the expansion of the al-Shifa hospital. When Israel was building these in the 1980s, they hired people from Hamas as security to guard the construction project, so to ensure that it wouldn't get attacked. They take embedded journalists on these propaganda tours, and what they found was essentially nothing of any major significance. They go in and they say, oh, look, we found these rifles behind an MRI machine, which is ridiculous for anyone who knows that the technology of an MRI machine and the magnetism of it. They're all conveniently placed, neatly arranged. There's one Hamas vest with a Hamas logo on it. So that gets ridiculed, and skepticism is expressed even by corporate media outlets that historically print Israel's propaganda as just established fact. So then they finally gain access to a tunnel in the area. They go down there and they say, oh, this tunnel is X number of meters long, and there's a blast-proof door that has a hole so that the Hamas terrorists can fire at us. So we need to take some time before we blow it open. And on the other side is going to be this command and control center. So finally then, last week, they blow the thing open. They go in there, and what do they find? They find 3 rooms, basically. One looks like a kind of very old school 1980s style exam room from a hospital. There's a sink somewhere in there. There's 2 toilets. And then you have this utter clown from the IDF who has been made a fool of himself by doing these tours. It's like Geraldo Rivera looking for Al Capone's vault. He's running around saying, aha, there's electricity in here. This is a Hamas command center. Aha, they had an air conditioner in here. The pipes are rusty. Many of the electrical wires aren't even connected. Now, I don't know for a fact that Hamas guys weren't under there. It wouldn't shock me if at some point Hamas did have people under there. But we were told this was like a Hamas Pentagon, and that it was so dangerous that it justified laying siege to a hospital filled with the most vulnerable people. This is akin to sort of the George H.W. Bush administration lies about the Iraqis pulling babies from incubators. It's an utter lie that was co-signed and promoted by President Joe Biden and his administration, and they should be made to answer for this, because it wasn't just al-Shifa. They did it at the Indonesia hospital. They did it at other hospitals. Of course, Hamas has networks of tunnels underneath Gaza, 150 to 300 kilometers by some estimates. Israel is waging a targeted assassination campaign against them, and they live in a confined area waging a guerrilla war. That's not news, but Israel tried to rebrand something that anyone who's followed this already knows and try to make it seem like it's a smoking gun. And in fact, it was a lethal lie.
Jeremy Scale, who won